In this video, I will test the Holy Grail indicator strategy created by Stock Accurate with the goal to find out how much money it could potentially make us after 100 trades. For the backtesting, I will set the initial account size at $1,000 and I'll be risking 2% of my account per trade in order to make 3. Okay, so the test will be done on the price of Apple on a 5-minute time frame, and for this strategy we need to add 3 indicators to the chart. So first let's click on the Indicators tab and type in Holy Grail. And select the best Holy Grail indicator V3 by MCBW_. Now let's access its settings. And in the input section, let's change the input from HLC3 to HL2. Also, let's set the responsiveness to 4 and the smart execution baseline to 1. In the star section, let's uncheck some of the lines we don't need. Okay, now let's add the second indicator to the chart. We're going to be searching for absolute strength histogram. It's going to be this indicator by G-Man Trading. The next step will be to access its settings and set the length to 1, the smooth to 8, the offset to 4, and the display mode to 4 as well. In the star section, let's uncheck these 2 lines. And finally, let's add the third indicator. This indicator is called the Bollinger Histogram. Let's also access its settings. And in the input section, let's change the length to 9. Alright, the setup is ready, now let's understand the trading rules. So here are the rules for entering a long trade. First, the light green line on a Holy Grail indicator must cross above the dark green line. Second, the blue line on the ash indicator must be above the red line. Third condition, the Bollinger Histogram must be green color. And finally, the market must form a bullish candlestick. The stop loss is placed at the recent swing low. The take profit target will be set at 1.5 times the risk. By the way, if you had a cross on a Holy Grail indicator but the rest of the conditions aren't yet met, you can still wait for the indicators to catch up. Exactly opposite is true for sell positions. First, we need to have a cross on a Holy Grail indicator, where the dark green line crosses above the light green line. Second, the red line on the ash indicator must be above the blue line. The Bollinger Histogram must also be red color. And lastly, the market must form a bearish candlestick. The stop loss is placed at the recent swing high. The take profit target at 1.5 times the risk. So I took a quick look at the signals given by the strategy and I already started seeing some problems. First thing I noticed that this strategy can give you a signal to enter the trade in a ranging market. This is definitely not good because we want a strategy that would give us only high quality trade entries. Just take a look at this short signal right here. We see all the conditions for entering a sell position are met. But unfortunately the price action does not go in our favor. Then you have this signal to buy and the same thing happens again. So I don't think these 2 indicators are doing a great job at filtering out bad entries. Actually, if we take a look at the Bollinger Histogram indicator, we can see that it's pretty useless. It pretty much repeats all the signals issued by the ash. But anyway, these are just my thoughts. I don't really know how profitable this strategy is yet. So let's move on to the backtesting to find out all the metrics behind the strategy. Okay, so after 100 trades, the results are pretty average. We can see that the win rate for the strategy is only 51%. Even though the win rate is pretty low, we still managed to make 67.79% of profit on our account. The maximum drawdown we had was 13.19%, which is quite significant but not critical. The profit factor is 1.56, which is pretty low for a 5-minute scalping strategy. Also notice that the losing streak was higher than the winning streak. This can also be considered as a red flag. So overall, I'll give this strategy a score of 5 out of 10. Okay, now I'm gonna try to fix the strategy by replacing some of the indicators. Just like I mentioned earlier, these two indicators do not do that much to eliminate 4 signals issued by the Holy Grail indicator. So I'm just gonna get rid of them and add another indicator instead. So the indicator we're looking for is called the Super Trend Oscillator. This one by looks algo. Now let's double click on it. And in the input section, let's untick these 2 options. Okay, the setup is ready, now let's understand the trading strategy. So the conditions for entering a long trade are very simple. First, the Holy Grail indicator needs to give a bullish cross. Second, at the time the cross happens, the Super Trend Oscillator must be green, and the bar needs to break above the 100 level. And finally, the trigger candlestick must be bullish. The stop loss will be set at the recent swing low. And we're going to be targeting 1.5 times the risk. The Super Trend Oscillator is definitely doing a better job at eliminating losing trades. If the indicator does not agree at the time the cross happens, we're simply going to be waiting for a better opportunity. However, there is an exception to this rule. For example, the Holy Grail just issued a buy signal. The bar on the super trend is green, but is being below the 100 level. In this case, you can wait another candlestick for it to catch up. As we can see, the size of the bar is very important because it indicates the strength of the trend. Okay, now let's learn the sell positions. First, the Holy Grail needs to give a bearish cross. Second, at the time the cross happens, the super trend oscillator must be red, and the bar needs to break below the lower band. But as we already know, there is an exception. You can wait another candlestick for the indicator to catch up if the red bar hasn't broke below the lower band. The stop loss will be set at the recent highest price. The take profit target will stay the same. There is another important thing you need to remember. If by the time the strategy issues a buy or a sell signal, the price action has gone way too far, in other words, if the distance between the entry price and the stop loss is quite significant, it's recommended to skip such signal because the price action is considered as overextended. Okay, now you know the rules, let's backtest the strategy as well to see if the results are any different. So right away we can see that the win rate has increased to 73%. The profit and loss is also looking really good. The profit factor is 4.06 and we had 11 consecutive wins against only 3 consecutive losses. So the results are obviously much better. We can confidently use this strategy on a 5-minute time frame. Okay traders, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. By the way, if you want to learn more high win rate strategies, check out this playlist right here.